Oh, hello, I am Burt. This is the Burt Locker. In the Burt Locker this week, I'm going to be looking at UFC Vegas 66 that took place on Saturday. I'm just going to talk about MMA, UFC, combat sports for the next 10 to 15 minutes because I just love to talk about it. So if you want to know more about what went down at UFC Vegas 66 and maybe a quick run through of the news, maybe there might be somebody who made their MMA debut this week who's got a rare kind of condition where he doesn't have any legs. Interesting. And whether he won or lost, you're going to have to tune into the rest of this video. So, right, let's start off with, UFC Vegas 66. Excellent event. There were some really good fights on. Manel Kape versus Dvorak. Now, that was a good one because I did have Manel Kape to win by knockout. He didn't quite get the knockout, but it was a very good performance. One thing that I did notice from Kape that was interesting was how he used the Kimura in round one to get out of a bad position. You've got the picture up here. How Dvorak didn't submit to that is, I mean, I know there wasn't very long left of the round, but look at the angle of that arm. He did well not to submit to that. But either way, Manel Kape still put on an excellent performance. He's very fun to watch. He does a lot of kind of showboating, especially towards the end of the rounds if he knows that he's winning. He's definitely a fun one to watch at flyweight. We need some more fun characters in that flyweight division just to get the juices flowing. Get some more. He's a very, very talented mixed martial artist, that man. So for the Drew Dober fight, full disclosure, the replay messed up on my BT Sport app, so I'm going to have to wait until the blackout over here in the UK. They black out anything that's on BT Sport on UFC Fight Pass. I have both, but I would like to see that because I'm a big fan of Drew Dober. I'm a big fan of Bobby Green as well, to be fair, but I heard it was a good scrap. I do know what happened. Obviously, Drew Dober got the knockout, but there are no fights on now for the next 28 days in the UFC anyway, so who knows? Maybe I'll watch it in the next couple of days and I'll do a quick video breakdown of how I thought it was. Marquez versus Win, that one was called off due to a concussion that Win sustained in training. Hopefully they can reschedule that one. Alex Caceres, he wasn't on my list of fights that I was breaking down, nor was he somebody that I bet on, but he did land an excellent head kick and got a finish. Max Caceres has been around for a minute now as well. He was on The Ultimate Fighter, Bruce Leroy. He's just a fun character, and to see him still winning in such spectacular fashion even this long into his career, it's really good fun. I love seeing it. Arman Tsarukyan was literally as I expected. He was as good as ever. His wrestling transitions were just relentless and he was so fast on the ground. He didn't really give Ismagulov a chance to get moving. Ismagulov's very good in his own right as well. Tsarukyan, he's a real problem in that division. He's got great cardio. He's got outstanding grappling. He has fought Makhachev before and he gave him a really good fight actually, but is he going to... No two fights are the same is what I'm saying. Tsarukyan has a hell of a skill set to break into that top five, challenge for the belt, and maybe, who knows, maybe even take the belt, but he's someone to keep an eye on. Really good. Cannonier versus Strickland, it was just very difficult to score, if I'm totally honest. I sat there watching it, I was like, well, most of these rounds, I can make an argument for either fighter. And this is part of the problem with judging. They don't even really know what the criteria is kind of subjective. That's the problem. It's all very subjective. You had one judge giving it 49-46 Strickland and another judge giving it 49-46 to Cannonier. Both of them were right. Both of them were technically right because you had Cannonier, he landed the kind of, I'd say more significant shots, but actually did he? Strickland landed a load of really significant shots that clearly wobbled Cannonier. But Cannonier scored the only real damage in that he bloodied Strickland's nose. But it's not like he knocked him down or anything like it. It was a really tough one to score, and I don't envy the judges in that position. But something's got to be done in that respect where it's just like, well, it's so subjective at that point. Like, who even won? Maybe give it to a bonus round or something. Get like a bonus round where it has to end in either a knockout or a certain... No, I'm kidding. That would be crazy because it would go on forever. But yeah, either way, it was a fun fight. I thought both of the guys, neither of them covered themselves in shame or glory. That both of them kind of stay exactly where they are in terms of public estimation of them, where they are in the rankings. I just don't think it does. The win doesn't do a lot for Cannonier. The loss doesn't do a lot detrimentally for Strickland. They're both exactly where they were, more or less. And I like Strickland. Strickland's already come out and said, look, I'm going to say this right now. I'm a sore fucking loser, all right? I thought I won that fight. I thought the judges got it wrong. But hey, you move on to the next. Let's do it. And I like that. There's something I like about Sean Strickland. He's very real, very kind of just, what's the word? Authentic. He's very authentic. He says what he means. Cannonier is good fun. The problem when you get to that level is that both Strickland and Cannonier are both more than capable of putting a hurting on you on the feet. So when you get to that level, you end up with them not taking too many risks. Because if you take risks against Cannonier, you end up like Brunson did, flat on your back, eating elbows in the face. So there's a reason that Strickland had to... And Strickland's movement is so good. It really is. He's so good at staying just out of range of the punches, because that's where he was. He was just out of range for most of that fight, apart from when he got clipped on the nose, which is probably what won it for Cannonier, honestly, because it inflicted the only real damage of the fight, and that's what the judges saw. But either way, brilliant event. That's the last one for 28 days. 28 days of no UFC fights. What am I going to do? Well, I'm probably going to watch the Cage Warriors event on New Year's Eve. That should be a pretty fun one. And I'll do a breakdown for that. Breakdown. Sorry, losing my mind. Just finished a day at the office, so yeah, nothing for 28 days. So it'll be a lot of American football. American football's going to be good over Christmas. The Christmas Eve slate of games is going to be super fun. Red Zone on Christmas Eve. Like, I'm definitely going to the pub and I'm definitely going to be watching all those games because I'm in the fantasy playoffs as well. So I'm going to be, that's a juicy Christmas present for me. There's a certain point I'm like, look, if I won the whole thing, that'd be great. But just to have something to play for at this time of year when Christmas Eve, you've got Red Zone, I can sit and enjoy and just watch my players shit the bed. It's gonna be a fun one. So, just a quick one to say, if you're watching this video and you like it, hit subscribe for us, could you? Cheers. No, really, really, please, it helps. It helps a massive amount. So, just hit subscribe. Hit like as well, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. So, Zion Clark, this is the chap I referred to earlier, who's got a genetic condition, who's born with like kind of no legs. So he's just like an upper body torso. He's the fastest man on two hands. He set the world record like for walking on two, because his arms are basically his legs. And they're built like legs as well. Good Lord, like, because he's just an upper body, so he just does upper body work. And, oh man, he gets to skip leg day, like every week. He just gets to do upper body. That is like a weightlifter's dream, isn't it? Come on, man. He gets all the luck. I'm kidding, of course. But he had his MMA. He's been a wrestler for some time. He's been very good. Because the problem is, he can go in the weight classes lower. Well, he goes in the weight class for his weight, but he doesn't have any legs. So he can fight at kind of atom weight or whatever weight classes they do that are really, really low. And he's got the upper body of a lightweight, at least, because he's jacked, right? And fair play to him. Look, he's making the most of his disability. It's inspiring. It's so inspiring. If this guy can get up and be a successful collegiate wrestler and also have a successful MMA fight, because he won, by the way, he won his MMA debut. If he can do that, then, you know, what's stopping you or me from doing anything? What I'm saying is, go for it. Because Zion Clark, he's a real inspiration to everybody, and he should be as well, because it's amazing. For most people, that would really hold you back, and he's turned it to his advantage. And it is a little bit of an advantage, I would add, because you can't ever kick him in the head, because he's always a downed opponent, and it's very difficult to kind of go in and punch down to like the level that his head is at and get any real power. And it's going to be difficult to knock him out like that. And once you go in like that, as soon as he gets a hold of you, that's it. You are done. Once he's grabbed a hold of you, you're not getting him off him, because you can't really use guard particularly well You can't use their legs, you can't push off his hips because he's just going to fly straight over into a mount. And he's so unbelievably strong. So he's actually, his disability is almost an advantage in these cases. I'm not sure if he'll ever make it to the UFC because I'm not sure what they do with the rules that, like, because I don't know which commission sanctioned his MMA debut, but there has to be certain aspects taken into account when you think about the rule set, downed opponents, things like that, and which weight class he should really be fighting at, because he's going to be crushing these guys, because he's got the upper body of a lightweight, but he could be crushing flyweights, atom weights, because he can just get down to that weight because he hasn't, obviously it sucks that he hasn't got legs, but also it is an advantage in some ways, and fair play to him. Like, it's turned it into an advantage because his wrestling is ridiculous. Oh man, if he gets hold of you, absolutely ridiculous. And if he does get into the UFC, like I said, I don't know how easy it is to beat somebody who's just always a grounded opponent and he's a next level grappler. So as soon as he gets a hold of you, it's done. He might become the GOAT. Look out, Islam Makhachev. This guy might be nipping at your heels. So yeah, then just got Troll of the Week. The only Troll of the Week that I've got this week is that there is no UFC for 28 days, and that makes me sad. Just like this picture here, that is super sad. But on the bright side, there is, on Cage Warriors 148 is on the 31st of December. So I'm going to be taking a look at some of the fights on that. Should be a good one because it will be on UK time on New Year's Eve. I never have plans on New Year's Eve. I'm a sad bastard like that. I'll quite happily just sit inside and watch some fights. And that's probably what I'm going to do. So have an excellent Christmas, everybody. And I will see you all on the other side of it. We'll figure out what sports I'm going to be watching, what I'm going to be breaking down, what I'll be putting in the Burt locker from week to week. So until then, keep all those odds long and those bets terrible.